everybody, and welcome to the Arena Hotfix update for July 25th. July 25th, wasn't that yesterday? Yes, it was. So why didn't I do it yesterday? Because yesterday, I went over the patch note preview. Why didn't I do this video? Because I didn't want my own video competing against my own video. You might understand that competing against myself for views from my own viewers might be seen as a bad decision. So what happened in this hotfix? It went live yesterday, but fortunately it didn't go live until late yesterday. So I'm doing a video today, late today. Why late today? Because I'm lazy. What's in this? Hey y'all, here's a list for the Arena micro patch I mentioned yesterday. This isn't live quite yet, but we're hoping to get it out soon. The goal here is to take a big swing at the top of the meta, primarily by nerfing the top marksman in Moonstone and Redemption. Why are they doing that? Because for those of you who've been playing Arena, you probably gotten bored. Why have you gotten bored? Because, and I'm going to be a bit speculative here, not just go over the patch note, I think that, they balanced the game mode for people who weren't that good at the game. Unfortunately, people that were that good at the game realized that they kind of break the game by being good at the game. People who are bad at League, they don't move their character, they don't kite. Unfortunately, they buffed people who need to move their characters and kite. So people who know how to move their characters and kite, they ended up being very overpowered. So the game mode ended up being very high damage and ended up being based entirely around ADCs. ADCs make this game mode, unfortunately, very boring. Why is that? Because they don't really play this game mode in a fun way. They don't use funny augments, they don't do funny builds, they just do a lot of damage from range. And unfortunately, in this game mode, they will always get to 2 to 3 items. In the regular game mode, instead of making AD carries carry 3 to 4 items, they made them carry it 2 to 3. This means that AD carry teams are very difficult to knock out, and they will almost always get to 4, 5, potentially 6 items in which they will massively carry the game. I'm sorry if you play AD carry, you are ruining Arena. I hate you personally. So what happened in this update? Well, let's go through these and let's talk about if I think that these will be enough to try to salvage the game mode. Why do I say that? Because this game mode is unfortunately losing a lot of its popularity due to the issues that I mentioned. All team comps becoming AD carry or anti-AD carry comps has gotten lame. Bruiser items, unfortunately, are nerfed into the ground. This means a champion can only build pure damage or pure support for an ADC. This leads to not a lot of variety. So, without further ado, we have nerfs to Cassiopeia. Why? Well, unfortunately, Cassiopeia is being used with Twitch and Teemo. See, Riot left in this archaic mechanic wherein Teemo's poison and Twitch's poison allow Cassiopeia to spam her E. Should this mechanic have been removed? Probably. Unfortunately, I actually suspect they don't have the technology to remove that interaction because this is merely a game mode. This is not a completely new League of Legends. So I do feel bad for them here. If you design for this game, do know I'm trying to be fair to you as much as I can be, okay? So what did they do to try to fix Cassiopeia being able to spam her E while never actually hitting her other abilities? They nerfed its AP ratio from 60% to 45%. Then they nerfed the healing from 10 to 16% to 10 to 12% of your AP is healing. What does this do? It does a lot to balance Cassiopeia. See, Cassiopeia can get mind over matter. That turns half your mana into health. Rod of Ages and Archangels, they give a lot of health and mana. Then that mana becomes more health. Then that healing from her E becomes more health. You might understand that's a lot of health. Will this balance Cassiopeia? Probably. But to be honest, I didn't think Cassiopeia was that bad. I thought she might have been a bit overpowered for sure. But I think it was mostly the interaction. Kai'Sa is being nerfed. How hard? Really, really, really hard. Her nerfs are as big as her ass. What are these nerfs? Her passive on-hit base damage is halved. Her passive on-hit base damage is halved. The missing health ratio on her passive has been reduced from a flat 15 to 10%. In addition to this, they note that Kai'Sa has additional nerfs coming to her in 13.15. So they have hit Kai'Sa's base damage really hard. The idea here is potentially to make her not as strong at the level 3 and 4, so Kai'Sa teams can actually lose early game. The problem here, as I mentioned earlier, and this is what I want to explain, the problem is they gave every single ranged champion 20 attack speed, 20 movement speed, 20 ability haste. This means that ranged champions are overall stat checking their melee counterparts to death. 20 attack speed is almost 2 daggers. In gold value terms, that means ranged champions start with 500 gold in attack speed. 20 ability haste is also about 500 gold. 20 movement speed, while not 500 gold, is actually off the top of my head. In other words, even if we round it down, ranged champions start with 1,000 plus gold in stats. That means that Kai'Sa comes into the game with 3 kills of stats just for playing the game. This has not balanced the game. It has made it less balanced. Unfortunately, as mentioned earlier, I believe this game mode was made more for the lower ranking people, which I suppose is fine. I don't believe that as a high ranking person I should own every game mode, but it is a bit frustrating for me that champions like Kai'Sa and, well, all these ADCs we see here were dominating this game mode by being extremely good early and late game. Kindred has also seen some nerfs. Her W on hit damage, that's Wolf, when he goes, yeah, and he does 150 magic damage, and you think to yourself, 150, that's a lot of damage. Where did that come from? Has he always done that? Indeed, he has. You just have never noticed, because Kindred has so much damage. So the W on hit damage has gone down a lot. I don't want to list these numbers because there's a lot of them. Let's just say her W, the amount of damage Wolf does, has gone down by almost half. In addition, the E, missing health proc damage, has gone from 8% to 5%. What does this mean? Kindred's damage has not really been affected that much, but Wolf has gone down substantially. This means that early game Kindred will deal significantly less damage. Kog'Maw has also been nerfed. His W, and I do want to specify, this is only for Arena. Will this affect Summoner's Rift? No. Will you ask me if this affects Summoner's Rift? Probably. Why will you do that? Because you hate me, and you want me to answer the question repeatedly. So will this affect Summoner's Rift? No. No, it will not. This will only affect Arena. Once again, Kog'Maw's W health damage has gone from 3 to 6% to 2 to 5%. Once again, this hurts his early game really hard. Does it hurt it enough? It also does hurt his late game. It hurts him all game. In fact, will this be enough? Will this be enough with Cassiopeia, Kai'Sa, Kindred, and Kog'Maw? Well, we'll see. Taric has large nerfs coming in. His Q, the healing base, down. The healing AP ratio, down. The healing health ratio, down. The amount of ability haste his E has, down even further, from minus 30 ability haste to minus 50. In addition, the amount of invulnerability time during his ultimate from 2.5 to 1.75. Taric heals less, and heals less, and heals less, and stuns less, and invulnerables less. Will this balance him? Probably. I think Taric comps were good, for sure, but they were falling a little bit out of favor. And now we're seeing that this will definitely stop the few holdovers from hopefully dominating. I don't think Taric was bad by any stretch of imagination, and I hope that this opens up some variety for the game mode. Twitch is getting nerfed really hard. From 40 to 70 damage on his ult to 10 to 30. Twitch from hero to 0. Just like that. Vayne, QAD ratio from 75 to 115 to 60 to 100%. In addition, her W percent health damage from 6 to 10% to 4 to 6%. Vayne nerfed really, really, really hard. Early game and late game. Is this good? Yes, this is really good. This one hurts Vayne really hard and hopefully stops her from dominating. Kog'Maw does so much damage, I doubt that this will be enough to stop him, but it will make him more beatable in the early game, potentially allowing you to get him out. Kai'Sa has her nerfs, but as it's only to base damage, it will maybe cause her some early game round losses, but won't stop her from killing you in 2 seconds late game. Instead, it might be 2.1 seconds. Cassiopeia. I don't know what to say about Cassiopeia. Kindred didn't see any damage nerfs on her consistent damage, only on Wolf. This will hurt Kindred's early game really bad. Tarek got hit really hard. Twitch, huge nerfs. Was it needed? Yes. Is it good? Yes. Do I enjoy it? Yes. Will this stop him from dominating? Definitely yes. With all the damage modifiers in this game mode, losing 30 to 40 damage hits this champion pretty hard. Will it balance him? It remains to be seen, but it definitely is a step in the right direction. Moonstone Renewer, big nerfs. The chain heal amount from 40 to 30%, the chain shield amount from 45 to 35%. And it no longer has minor recursive chain healing. Will this balance the item? Yeah, actually this probably will. This hits it pretty hard, and definitely this means that it stops shielding and healing teammates as much. What started as a meme, the Paladin Mord, started to kind of like break into other things. We started to see Moonstone Renewer, and I'm not doing a bit, I'm just doing my normal voice. We started to see Moonstone Renewer basically built on every support, on every healer. We even saw it built sometimes on champions like Maokai, just because they could heal and shield their teammates so much if they picked the right augments. I think that this is a good nerf, but I think potentially Moonstone Renewer needed something. And again, you know, to be fair to these people, I doubt they have the technology to do that. I think, although this would be less fun, so it's a bit difficult to say, right? But I think Moonstone Renewer tends to go a bit crazy once you start adding augments into it. And the problem was that, say, if you had the augment where you heal whenever you immobilize an enemy, Maokai could... if he hit 2 enemies, he would heal for 8% with his Q, right? Which is really good for him, but then, oh my god, he would then heal his teammate 40% of that, so he would heal his teammate for 3.6% of his health every time he used Q, hit 2 people, and peeled them away. That meant that, especially with the heal and shield power, that was actually higher and higher and higher, and you see where I'm going with this one. In addition with this passive healing, other healing he could pick up, Moonstone Renewer could go a bit nuts, and then Courage of the Colossus, and blah, 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 blah. Basically, Moonstone Renewer goes a bit hard in this game mode. Redemption, the base heal from 350 to 700 to 250 to 500. Basically, people were stacking so much heal and shield power that Redemption was just straight full healing people constantly. You would literally see it drop like a 3k heal on people. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Perseverance, now this kills the Mundo right here. Did Mundo need to die? Yeah, probably not actually. Mundo was not actually overpowered. So, well, no, he really wasn't. So, okay, the problem is, I do agree Perseverance Mundo was overpowered, but he was literally only viable if you high rolled Perseverance. Now Perseverance isn't good on Mundo, and it's not good on anyone. That's all I have to say. Perseverance probably should have been buffed when they bug fixed it, because I assume it's not going to be like the lowest win rate thing. Basically, Perseverance was amping all health regen, not just base health regen, and so it gave you 500% all health regen. So Mundo, for example, on his rank 3 ultimate was healing 300% of his health, then modified by any heal and shield modifiers, then modified by Spirit Visage, modified by all that, modified by the amount of bonus HP he would get from his ultimate, the bonus healing he would get from his ultimate. So it was pretty common to see a Mundo who... I think I was playing Mundo one time, and in a short, like, I'm talking short, it was like a 3-4 second fight with Kog'Maw where we both ran up and, you know, we just beat each other, and I think I ended up beating him, but maybe he beat me, I don't remember. No, if I remember the death recap, he had to beat me. So it was only like a short 4-second fight, and I tanked over 20,000 damage. Which A, tells you how much damage Kog'Maw is doing in this game mode, but then B, tells you how much Mundo is healing in this game mode. So, yeah, it probably did need to be fixed, but they probably should have buffed it. They probably should have buffed it when they fixed it. So, is this enough to save Arena? personal critique, I really wish they would tone down the range advantage. It's not fun to have all these AD carries doing that. I also think lethality items should be nerfed, and I think bruiser items should be buffed. I don't think that this game mode, I think the problem with this game mode is it's very quickly becoming an insta-gib or be insta-gibbed game mode. AD carries doing so much damage from so much range that your only response is to one-shot them. But because lethality items are buffed, you just go lethality items and you try to one-shot people. You can't go bruiser items because they're all nerfed into the ground, so it's just lethality versus AD carries, and then every so often a jeweled gauntlet mage runs in and one-shots you, and you one-shot them, and it's all just one-shotting. Look, I get it. I guess people enjoy one-shotting, but it makes the game mode kind of shallow at the high end. That's just me. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you for this arena update. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.